Hello, my name is Joel and welcome back to my YouTube channel Shared Deck. Today I'm going to be doing a Commander deck for Maya Elda Anima. So this deck revolves around cheating fatty creatures into the library or into your hand directly into the battlefield. So to do that we have our commander, Maya Elda Anima. So let's read this real quick. So she's Naya, 3 to cast. You pay 6, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature card with power 5 or greater from among them onto the battlefield. Then put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So with that, I have a lot of fatties. I think they were at 29 last time I counted. So I might be wrong. But yeah, so the likelihood of us hitting a creature that has power 5 or greater is pretty good. But there are times that you will still whiff. So it's just part of the game. It's pretty straightforward. So Maya L will get killed right off the bat usually most of the time. So that's why I have a couple of spells that let me cheat creatures either from my hand or into my from the library directly into the battlefield. So I wouldn't be out of the game too much. I still have an out somewhat if Maya L is put in the command zone too many times where it's unfeasible for me to cast it over and over again. So with that is pretty much the commander. So let's start off with the fatties. So when I say fatties, usually their power is 5 or greater. That's how I look into it. So we got Etali, Primal Storm, one of the ways I could cheat a creature from my library into the battlefield. So we got Magmatic Force. So one of the things I do like about Maya L is you can build it cheaply or you can build it expensive, i.e. putting a lot of Eldrazi on there, Vorinclex, stuff like that. So with this, it's pretty much like in the middle. So it's pretty casual. Like none of my decks are hardcore like CDH stuff. So we got Magmatic Force, which is a very cheap card. Or cheap in a way of cost, like money-wise. But so we got Dragonlord Atarka, which is removal. Siege Behemoth. So if you want to close out a game, this will be a very good card to look for. Spearbreaker Behemoth. There you go. Got it through. So this is protection because it gives our fatties indestructible and also has indestructible itself. Nyx Bloom Ancient ramp. So Angel of Ruin. So if we do have this stuck in our hand and there's really no way for us to cast it, I could just plain cycle it away and look for a plains, which is nice. Green Warden of Murasa, Graveyard Recursion. Surak the Huntcaller. So if we have Formidable, we can give one creature haste, which is nice. Tyrant's Familiar. If we have the commander out, this would be a 7/7. Then when it attacks, it deals 7 damage to a creature. So just not bad. So it's removal. Kodama of the East-3. Another card that we could cheat our creatures into the battlefield. Spellbreaker Behemoth. So it's a 5/5 for 4 to cast, which try to fill out my 5/5s or at least fatties with at least almost 4 to cast. So I won't be too much dead in the water. So most of the time I cast my L at the 3rd turn. So it's either I'm ramping at the 4th or the 5th turn, so I can get the 6th right away, or I could put something here. So if I don't have ramp, then I have something to cast or do something on my 4th or 5th turn. Dragonlord Dromoka. Verdant Force. Cyclops of Eternal Fury. Give all creatures haste. Primeval Protector. So when it comes into play, put a +1/+1 counter on each of our creatures. And it has a mana reduction too of it costs 1 less to cast for each creature opponent's control. So if we have a player that has a token deck, so it's very reasonable. You may be able to cast this for 1 or 2. Tenderfoot Baloth. So with the commander being out, it's a 7/7, and it gives the other creatures +2/+2 and trample, which is trample is very huge for this deck. Gisela the Blade Knight. Oh, Gisela Blade of Gold Knight. Solo the Harvest, card draw. Apex Altasaur. So whenever it enters the battlefield, you could fight the creature, so it's removal. So we do have a couple of ways to trigger its enrage ability. So speaking of which, we have Inferno Titan, card that would let us trigger the enrage ability. Blazing Archon, creatures can attack you, just nice. Woodfall Primus, a non-creature removal. Paleoloth, Graveyard Recursion for our fatties. And Thorn Mammoth, another card that is removal. Granted, if they have toughness of 6 or less. Or yes. Conquering Manticore, so can't really find any other deck this would be a good fit in, so felt like this deck is a good fit for it. So this would let me steal a creature temporarily and then attack with it. So hopefully I'll be able to sacrifice it somewhat and do some massive damage with it. So Calamity's Captain, pretty much the same as Conquering Manticore. I can't really find any other deck that could fit this, and it feels like putting in a Mayael deck is a pretty good fit for it. So it's a 5/5 Vigilance, and you can pay the Monstrosity and it will exile all artifacts and enchantments, which is good. Exile. So we got Stonehoof Chieftain, which is nice. Bloodfire Colossus, so this is a board wipe. So we're here in the single target removal section. So we got Broken Wings. So it's a Naturalize or a Plummet, which is good in my opinion. It's only 3 to cast. Sorry, to Plowshares. Beast Within. Chaos Warp. Generous Gift. And here are the kind of the miscellaneous stuff. So we got Eternal Witness, Graveyard Recursion. Now we got Rhythm of the Wild, gives our creatures haste, or you could put a +1/+1 counter on it. And creatures we control can't be countered, which is nice. So we got Warstorm Surge, which whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you deal damage to target creature or player, which is very good since we do have a lot of creatures that will deal massive damage. Let me get a little bit closer here so we're Ancient's Thread. This, whenever a creature with power 5 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you may have this deal 5 damage to target creature or player, which is nice. So Vivian's Invocation. So we're in the section where we could, so if Mayael is out of commission, we could use these cards to try to cheat creatures from our hand or from our library directly into the battlefield. So we got Vivian's Invocation. So this will let us cheat a creature from the library, and then it will deal damage to another creature. So it also doubles as a removal. See that written. So we have Ferocious. This will let us look for 2 creatures, which is nice. Primal Surge. Could be a double-edged sword too. So if we don't hit it, if we get at least 3 or 4 fatties in the battlefield, it's pretty much like worth it. So, but it's a gamble. Just like activating Mayael's activated ability. So Genesis Storm, most of the time this will always look for 2 9/9 permanents, because I'll be able to cast Mayael at least once. If I'll be lucky, I'll be able to cast it twice, which will let me look for 3. So that will be pretty worth it for 6 mana. And these are the cards that will let me cheat creatures from my hand to the battlefield. So we got Elvish Piper and Champion of Ronas. So you can exert this, and then you may put a creature card from our hand directly into the battlefield. So a little bit of library manipulation. So we got Sensei's Divining Top and Sylvan Library. Our second board wipe, which is Route. Some card draw. So we got Greater Good, Elemental Bond, and Garruk's Pack Leader. And a Drum Hunter, which also doubles as a card draw. Or, I'm sorry, which doubles as a ramp. So I got Soul Ring, Core Cartographer, Wilderness Reclamation. So we can untap it, untap all the lands, which is not as good as, because you won't be able to untap Maya L, but since we do have a lot of instants, try to force us some interaction so we could at least won't be too dead in the water with it. So we got 3 visits. So most of the ramp that I have, usually I try to concentrate around the 2 to 3 mana section, because if I play Maya L on the 3rd turn, I want to at least cast at least 1 ramp before I cast Maya L, so I won't be too dead in the water between turns 4 or 5. So because you're just trying to get to the 6 mana as fast as you could so you can start activating Maya L as soon as you can. So got 3 visits. Arcane Signet, Wayfarer's Bauble, Great Henge. So this is a very good card. It also doubles as card draw too. The mana reduction is really easy to attain, since a lot of my creatures usually run is at the 7 power level, so it's very good. That's Skyshroud Claim. Let me get a little bit closer here. Got Wood Elves, Nature's Lure, Seaborn Muse. This is the card that you really want to hit, because it will let us untap all our permanents for each player's untap step, which is good. So we could play Maya L pretty much activate ability every turn. So hopefully you'll be hitting a couple of fatties that'll put us right ahead of the field, a better board position to close out the game, or at least do some managed damage to a player. So got Farseek. Now we're here at the non-basic land section, so we'll just breeze through real quick. So we got Spire Garden, Bountiful Promenade, Spectator Seating, Cinderglade, Canopy Vista, Rootbound Crag, Clifftop Retreat, Sunpetal Groove, Wooden Bastion, Rugged Prairie, Firelit Thicket, Battlefield Forge, Brushland, a Sheltered Thicket, Scattered Grooves, Stomping Ground, Temple Garden, Sacred Foundry, a Command Tower, Mossworth Bridge, a Jungle Shrine. So we're here at the fetch section. So we got Fabled Passage, Cross and Verge, Prismatic Vista, Windswept Heath, Arid Mesa, Wooden Foothills, and now we are at the basic land section. So we have 3 mountains, 1, 2, 3, 4 forest, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 plains, which makes our lands a grand total of 38. So with that, I hope you enjoy my deck tech for Maya Elda Anima. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Alright, thank you. Alright, bye-bye.